Yo, we just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is an interview 8 years in the making. And I say 8 years because I've known this man for 5. I've been doing this for 10. And 8 years ago, I knew of him but didn't know him on the personal level that we know each other now. Please help me welcome the Grinder, Mr. Shaw.
How are you?
I'm good. That's it? That's all you got?
I'm here with the questions. I'm here to answer questions, brother.
That's true. That's true. So, the first time I ever got to call one of your matches was in the early days of New Frontier. And you were taking on Steve Brown. And Steve Brown has the greatest entrance song of all time. Yeah. And I was on the commentary table with lighter in my hand. And you looked around. That was the first time I think I ever got the resting bitch face. You looked at me and you were like, Are you fucking serious right now?
Well, come on, man. I'm the baby. Here I am trying to get the crowd up. Steve comes out with that great song, and you're just burying me with your lighter out there like it's like a Megadeth concert. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what the hell?
I think burying is a little bit of a harsh term. I don't think it was burying anybody, but the song kicks ass.
Yeah, no, it's a good song.
I mean, if we were going off comparative of whose song's better, in that moment, Steve Brown wins.
If we're talking about just like the music that someone comes out to, Steve should be the champion of every company that exists in Ontario because it's the best song.
Have you ever thought about like upping your entrance game?
Why? What's wrong with my entrance?
Nothing wrong.
What are you trying to say?
So what is it about? Okay, I've never asked this question, but I think this is a good question. Okay. What is it about like Steve Brown's entrance music? It just makes sense. He calls himself Bone Crusher Steve Brown. He comes out to Not Afraid by Bone Crusher. It just makes sense. Well, what is it about your entrance song what ties you to your entrance song? Like when I hear that entrance song, I do think of Mark Shaw, but what ties you to it?
I think it's like an atmosphere or a mood.
Okay.
Like when I was using USS, that was very much the mental space of like everything around me can fall apart. Doesn't matter. I'm still me kind of thing, right? Loden obviously made me a custom one that I've been using for a couple years. That is kind of more tailored to just like my atmosphere in a sense. So I've also used other songs that are just, I like them, and then I can kind of create that atmosphere around the song and my entrance. I guess it's more of a presence thing. So like, I don't say there's a tie. I can come out to probably almost any song. I just need to figure out how to capture that energy of that song. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone's lucky enough to just pick the right song like Steve did and just literally come out to the best song ever. So like, it's also just like, I don't know. I think you gotta know what kind of vibe you're going for.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
totally.
if you're picking the right song for the right kind of vibe you're going for, it's gonna like, if I'm coming out all dark and broody, coming out to like, I don't know, Backstreet Boys, it's obviously it's not gonna work, right? No.
But if you and I were a tag team when we came out to Backstreet Boys, that would make sense.
Because you would be all high energy, and I'd be like, why the fuck am I doing this? And then, like, that's exactly what it would be like, oh.
We would come out to the call.
Let me tell you a story about the call that changed my destiny.
That's my favorite Backstreet Boys song. It's the
I
best.
don't even know what. You're going to have to play that song for me later, because I've never heard that one before.
It's pretty badass, actually. It is, legitimately. That is, like, the only... Like, if I were to go to a Backstreet Boys concert with my wife, they play that song, I'd get up and leave and be like, I'll be in the car. Like that's it. Play that too. Deuces. Bye bye.
I don't care what else they have. I'm out.
So, in going back to the music for a second, though, because this is an interesting process. So, the vibe. So, when you designed the Grinder, Mark Shaw, and you designed the vibe that you were looking for, and you came out and you said, okay, I'm going to be this anti-hero, or I'm going to be this dark character that could kind of flip any way I choose in a given moment. The Grinder is very emotional. I will say that the Grinder is very emotional, and I believe he plays his cards or his journey in pro wrestling, especially here at PWO. He plays them to his emotions. Yeah. And while it's an asset, it's also been a detriment to his storylines. Yeah. But when you're coming out, like, you can't come out, you can't be, okay, I'm going to be this character. I'm going to be this emotional, driven character, but I'm a grinder. I rise and I work and I grind to be the best at my craft. But I'm not going to come out to, By the Gaslight by Meatloaf. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so when you sit there and you, like, when you're picking, like, when you're doing your whole entrance, like, when you were designing Mark Shaw, you're training, you're going to debut, are you going through, like, albums and songs and CDs? Are you scrolling through iTunes and being like, okay, this is my vibe?
Like early in my career, I think I was just trying to find something that I could vibe with.
Okay.
And I think it took me a long time to kind of find how to create that atmosphere in the entrance. Definitely by the time I would say close to before PWO started, I kind of got that concept. But like that's kind of it. It's just the character is so driven by the emotions that the entrance almost has to kind of be one emotion at a time. So you can't be like high energy and then low. You have to come in and like almost gradually build up. Come in slow. Like maybe when I used to do like kind of the water spit, it's kind of like, oh, like a little blip, right? It's like the flat line, you get a little blip, you come in and the energy starts to build up, do like the reveal with the thing, the energy starts to build up. But it's a gradual change in energy. So you can't just be like high, low, high, low, high, low. It's just like building up towards the top of like a roller coaster.
I like that.
Right? And then for the drop, because the character's so based on emotions that can, you're right, flip in a moment, it's almost like you're setting the tone in the opposite direction. So you're gradually building up an emotion, which like most people, if you're ever in an argument, like you gradually build up in an argument, right? You start off, you're civil, you're calm, you start to get a little more upset, now you're yelling, now you're screaming, now you're throwing shit. You build up an emotion. So if you start that way where it's a logical emotional roller coaster into a character that then in a moment can go from calm to destructive and then back, it sets you up, but then you're paying attention because now the entrance gave you an idea one way of how this character was going to interact with you, but now he's not interacting with you that way.
Yeah, the grinder can really go off the rails, and it's so interesting because your character has so many layers. And I mean, you love it. I can see that you enjoy it. The layers are very simple. One day you're fuck Evan Parkside. Next day you're like, Parkside's my boy. Yep. Then it's like, fuck Evan Greenaway. Next day, Evan Greenaway, we're the three best friends. Yep. Then it's like George just tries to do his backstage interview shit, and George gets dismissed, and George gets broken down, and George gets insulted. And one day, this backstage interviewer is gonna fucking go postal on this entire PWO fucking roster. That's for sure.
But not yet.
Not yet. No, we're building. We're emotionally building.
That's right. We're building up to the roller coaster. This is just like the resentment's only starting to set in. Eventually, you're going to snap.
Starting to set in.
We've got at least 6 more months.
Oh, great. Wonderful. 6 more months of belittling. But of course, then there's Erin Grant who flies in and she gets all the love in the world. But George doesn't. George gets beaten down by the Sad Boys Club, by the Old Age Renegades. Even fucking Johnny DeLuca has turned his back on me.
Well, what did you do to Johnny?
Well, now, hold on. Johnny did it to himself.
That sounds an awful lot like somebody who abused Johnny would say.
Whoa, this isn't a sleeper situation here, okay? Nobody was in a reform school.
Trial?
Nobody who don't put me on trial. Do not you put me on trial. So in terms of PWO and everything that's been built up with this promotion, I don't know how far we could pull back the curtain. Can we pull back the curtain a lot? A little bit. So there is, I would say you are a locker room leader, to say the least. And you are maybe involved in some storyline shaping of the way things may or may not play out.
I will say my opinion, and they are highly listened to.
Okay. So that's good. That's where we'll leave it at. In terms of shaping these storylines and building these characters like PWO does, because I think out of all the Ontario indie promotions there, and there are some fabulous ones, and I work for a lot of them, more and more and more we're becoming conditioned to building great storylines. And I think all you guys work together and you work seamlessly and you share talent, which is fantastic, and you share ideas. Sometimes even storylines are allowed to translate from one promotion to another, which is awesome. But then there's that whole kind of a keepsake situation like, I'm building this character here this way. So if that character goes over there that way, I want them to go a different trajectory emotionally because I have them emotionally invested here. And if I don't get the payoff, then what have I been investing in? Is it hard to kind of make sure that your roster, when they take other bookings, because I'm not saying you're telling them they can't. Everybody gets other bookings. Yeah. But is it hard to say, well, if someone in your roster, say Crystal Moon, you've been building her as the next big thing here. If she were to go to another promotion, she's like, well, they want me to be like the anti-hero. They want me to be like this dark character. That may throw off my vibe here. Do you give advice on how to work that in another promotion?
I think it comes down to like if your roster respects what you're doing. They understand where everything you're trying to do, where you're trying to go. They usually handle that on their own. Like, we'll use Crystal as an example. If she's going over here and they're like, oh, we want you to be really dark and brooding, but like an anti-hero, but at PWO, she's the first lady. She's drawing a female crowd here that is really, really behind her. She knows what she's doing here, and she knows if she goes somewhere else, how that could affect what happens here. So it's a respect thing. Sometimes they'll reach out. I get every once in a while, they reach out. Hey, like, this company wants to do this with me. This company wants to do that with me. What do you think? Okay, well, that doesn't really affect what you're doing here. That might affect it. Maybe talk to the promoter. Maybe talk to the company. Say, hey, listen,
I'm working an angle this way.
Yeah, I'm going this way with that angle, but like, maybe we don't do it that way. I think with enough respect, which I think we've been very lucky in PWO that we've been giving out that respect and we've always gotten it back. We've never really had that issue because we're just very straightforward with how that kind of stuff goes.
Yeah, no, I will say, me being here with this company now for 6 months, an abusive 6 months. It's been a joy.
Not even the worst abuse.
No, it's not, actually. You know what? I will say this. I have in my tenure in Ontario Indie Wrestling, and this is somebody who worked and earned the respect of all the players in Ontario, did my interviews, did my hustle. People saw the grind. People were like, okay, we got to give this guy an opportunity. And people gave me opportunities, and I've delivered on the opportunities. For sure, I know I have, and I'm not being cocky. I'm just confident. I've delivered on those. Yeah. But, I do get a lot of belittlement at certain promotions, and it seems
what you're trying to say is that the most is here.
Oh, hands down, the belittlement is hard. It's hard.
You can put that in a pie chart. Is it like 75% belittlement?
I work with 4 promotions, 5 now. Sorry, 5. So I would say 40% solid on the PWO scale out of 100, 40 even 45, depending on how tonight's going. Could push it over 50.
I feel like those numbers need to go way up, so we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that.
Great. Sure, Parkside would love the freedom that he has on that.
Parkside.
So in terms of that too, this fight forever feel that you have with Devin Parkside. You guys have been multiple time tag team champions at multiple different promotions. You told stories. You've had great singles success. You've turned your back on each other. You've turned your back on one another. You've turned your back on friends of friends of friends. So there's only a time before Evan Greenway gets screwed, and I'm just going to put that out there right now, Evan. But what is it with you and Parkside and this oddly weird yet familiar friendship? And I want this part to be intense in the conversation. So I'm actually going to place this in your hand. Don't push any buttons, just raise it to your voice. Go ahead, talk.
Have you ever had a brother?
No, I have 2 sisters.
Okay. We may not be blood related, but we're brothers.
Okay.
We have known each other since we were like 11 years old. Every major life event that's happened in either of our lives, we were there for each other. Brothers fight because brothers know each other and call each other out on their shit better than anybody else does. I call him out on his shit. He calls me out on my shit. Sometimes we fight. Sometimes we fight because words don't work anymore. Sometimes he needs the side of his head smacked because he needs to listen. Sometimes I need the side of my head smacked. Not very often. If we're being honest. Come on now.
We're being honest.
We're being honest.
Very honest.
But when you know that you have somebody who has your back, you can push limits because you know you have somebody there. Sometimes you need to push limits with that person that has your back. Sometimes you got to fuck them up. Sometimes they're going to fuck you up. But I know push comes to shove, he's there. And I know that he knows I'm there. Unless you've had a brother, you don't understand it.
I don't know. So I don't understand it. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up.
No, I explained it to you. Yeah. You're smart enough. You get it.
You explained it pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm going to
you
think
get
about
it.
my drive home and be like, this is a situation.
Yeah.
Very interesting situation.
And maybe Evan might become a brother.
Could be. Like a little brother?
Yeah, maybe.
Like the brother, like the
If he plays his cards right.
Plays his cards right. My microphone. All right. couple more questions. I'm going to let you go prepare for the rest of your evening. Now, when it comes to, I guess, the big payoffs in PWO that you guys have done storyline-wise, and the big reveals, the big turns, there have been a lot of surprising turns of characters here in PWO. Evan being one, a fan favorite, a household name, going to the Renegades. Can't call me old age Renegades because one of them is under 30. So, only one of them. The other two way over. Wildly, I have to get it sometime. This is my show, guys.
That's why I have Bill Littleman.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's also the heel turn of like babyface forever, Johnny DeLuca, and that was not an idea of yours. That was organic from this crowd. This crowd started to get stale on Johnny DeLuca. Then you guys, the highly respected opinionators, were able to say, this is something we could build on. And do you think the heel turn at the last show that we had happen, do you think that happened in November and then it happened in December full out, and now he is the champ? Do you feel like the payoff was exactly what you knew it was going to be? Or did it under-deliver or did it over-deliver?
I think it actually over-delivered because I didn't expect it to work that well. I knew it was going to work, and I knew he had it in him to play that character, and the crowd already were giving us that direction throughout the year. So, like, pulling the trigger on it was not scary in the sense that we didn't think it was going to work, but we had an idea, we had a benchmark of, like, it's probably going to go about here. We might have to work at it a little bit longer to get it to go all the way where we want to, but it was like, no, like, it's there. They hate him. That's awesome. That's, like, okay, cool. Like, we now have so much more to build off with that, and it's so much fun.
So excited.
Oh, it's so exciting. I can't wait.
So in terms of you yourself, though, the grinder, like I said, I also love this new look, by the way. Yeah. It does make you look younger. It's a little shocking. Like, when you posted it on socials, I'm like, whoa. The fuck is this? Like, where's I liked the COVID scraggly mountain man look, to be honest with you. I'm like, I thought that suited the grinder. I know, and you kept it kind of flowing. But now we have the situation that we're in now, where you're kind of more clean cut. Yet Parkside, though, still has the mountain man thing going down. So is this kind of a new? Are you all going to be the clean shaven renegades pretty soon? Is Parkside going to lose the beard next, or what?
I think Evan and I kind of had to fall in line with what Parkside wanted. He wanted us to look professional.
Okay.
But Parkside does what he wants. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to follow what he says.
Oh, only in this case.
Only in this case. Yeah. Not trying to stir the pot at all, guys. Only in this case.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Stirring up a whole bunch of childhood trauma right now.
I'm so childhood trauma. You want to talk childhood trauma?
Yeah. No.
We could go there forever.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's going to be a 4 or 5 hour interview.
Buddy, we go off the fucking rails. That's a mental health podcast in itself. But listen, you know what? Not even speaking of childhood trauma, but speaking of traumas, setbacks, situational things not going your way in wrestling, whether it be behind the curtain when you're suggesting things, or when it's in front of the curtain and the reaction doesn't go, and you may have to plan or change on the fly. Are those situations like that, do you feel intimidated in those moments, if that makes sense? Or do you rise to those occasions? If the question makes sense, if I get it.
In ring, it's so natural now to just, okay, we have to pivot. Okay, how are we pivoting? Okay, go. It's just, it's so second nature now that I don't find it intimidating. I would admit that sometimes I make the wrong decisions calling an audible because it's just such second nature. I think I maybe need to slow down and read the room a little bit more. But in terms of like influencing behind the scenes, it's not intimidating. It's just very cautious. When you call an audible, when things go against plan, how important was the plan? What?
Oh, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, does the plan need to have every single step that you had laid out? If one step is missing, is it okay?
Does it all fall apart?
Yeah, can the step go a little to the left or a little to the right and still get to the end, like the end path? You have to weigh those decisions, but sometimes you don't have time to weigh those decisions. So you kind of have to make your decision in a moment as carefully as you can and live and die by that sword, whether it's right or wrong. So it can be intimidating, but you don't have time to live in that. If it's 2 hours before the show and there's no one to replace Wrestler A, but Wrestler B's got this whole thing going on and they need a certain caliber of opponent, you make do with it. you make do with it. It might end up being the wrong decision. It's the wrong decision. Live with it. Like, you know what I mean? So
Rise and grind. Just wake up tomorrow and try it all over again. I like that. I think that's a great way to end this conversation, which has been a great, entertaining 20 minutes, by the way. I don't know why we haven't done this sooner. It's probably, I dropped the ball somewhere along the lines. Probably, yeah. I fucked up. Before I let you go, I have to ask one bonus question. I think this question parlays perfectly into our opening segments of the theme songs.
okay.
Have you ever worked on a show where somebody's theme song came out and you were like, what? Not asking you to name a wrestler, but did somebody ever come out to a song and you're like, I don't see it, I don't get it, I don't understand how this is the tune?
All the time.
Okay, just name me as, okay, what is the weirdest song you've heard somebody come out to? Again, not naming names, just name the song.
I can't remember what the artist was called, but it was the song was way too poppy and way too upbeat for the character.
Okay.
And I was like, it's a dark, brooding character. It's supposed to be angry, but you're coming out to a poppy up. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And I'm sitting there trying to like, am I missing something? Did I do something wrong? Have you, like, I offended you? Why the fuck is this happening right now?
Are you not entertained?
Well, apparently I wasn't. Like, fuck.
So the only I don't have an experience like that, but I will say that sometimes I go down the YouTube rabbit hole where I'll watch a match. I'll put in like a match of a show of even a local indie talent that I like here, and then it suggests another video suggests. Sometimes you just fall down the rabbit hole. You just keep letting it suggest and see where it takes you. One time, it was these two youngsters coming up out of somewhere Albuquerque, New Mexico, or something like that.
Okay.
Like this is where YouTube took me.
Yeah.
And the one kid came out to Creed with arms wide open.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, maybe he's like a Bible thumper. Maybe he's going to take the crown in his arms.
Yeah.
He came out to Creed with arms wide open, dressed like the Ultimate Warrior. And again, I'm not one to
I'm judging. I'm 100%.
okay, and but I can't because I don't have my own entrance. But I looked at it and I looked at the clock. It was around 1:30 in the morning on a Saturday evening. I wasn't booked anywhere, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to call it. I'm calling it right now. I didn't even watch the match.
That's the line.
So if that youngster from Albuquerque, New Mexico is ever floating around, please come on the show. You came out to Creed looking like Ultimate Warrior. I want to interview you.
I want to watch that interview.
I want to know what you're picking up on. That's what I want to know. And for this, guys, that's it. The Grinder Mark Shaw. Thank you so much, my friend, for coming on the show. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you guys next week.
Yo, we just people from the north side. Once the Timmy's hit the shore fine. Winter ready on the four ties. Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side.